Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The topic that I've chosen for our January retreat is Bhakta Hanuman. There are many characters in Ramayana, and by studying each character, we can develop very beautiful qualities that is represented by these characters. And one of them is Hanuman. Hanuman is one of the most beautiful characters in the Ramayana. So there's a verse describing that. Goshpadi krita varisham mashaki krita rakshasam Ramayana mahamala ratnam vande anilatmajam. What that means is, he made the huge ocean seem like a little puddle, enough to cover the hoof of a cow. And then he saw, when he saw all these huge, very bad demons, they looked like mosquitoes to him. So he could just crush them under his arm, And then Mashaki Krita Rakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Anilatmajam. That means in the Mahamala means the huge garland of all these amazing characters in Ramayana. Anjaneya or Hanuman is the most precious jewel, And so Vande Anilatmajam. So I prostrate unto that Hanuman, who is the son of the wind god. So that's how he's described as. He's the most beautiful character in the story of Rama, in the Ramayana. So we're going to look at that. As even we look at the story part of it, we're also going to study the correct way to practice bhakti based on the Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So that's going to be interesting because, Hanuman has a unique way of expressing his bhakti, which is devotion through the form of surrender. So he completely surrenders to Rama, and that's how he shows his devotion. And by means of that, when you practice it correctly, and when you practice it long enough, then it culminates in the knowledge of the self. Because by surrender, what we're surrendering is the non-self. So if you really think about it, what you're surrendering is unreal to begin with. So you're not really giving up anything real, that is, So by the time you're done with the surrender, if you do it the right way, then everything is resolving in the self, which is your true nature. Okay, so it'll be it'll be fun to discuss that when you're here, and we'll see where it takes us. Thank you. Namaste.
Jai Ganesh. This is Manoj, and I'm standing in front of my truck, which is a Murti wagon. We're getting ready to go to Bhakti Fest. That's my buddy Kurt, the bearded wonder. He's packing. He's a filmer. He's a philosopher, all in one. And I don't know if there's a professional philosopher, but we're philosophers and blue collar, both. So I want to invite you to a retreat in San Diego at a temple on January 16th through the 19th. It's a very popular retreat for people from all over the country. They come, and the topic is going to be on relationships and yogic deities. So the exact topic is Dopamine and Dharma. Interesting title. Dopamine and Dharma, Modern Relationships Through the Lens of Hindu Buddhist Deities. We're going to explore relationships in an archetypical sense. For instance, relationships of, usually people think it's just you and a significant other, but it's all kinds of relationships. It's with your friend, with your teacher, with your colleague, with your boss, with your children, with your spouse, even, dare I say, enemy, right? And we're going to explore it through mythology, archetypes, storytelling, and we're going to do a lot of interactive group sessions, okay? Lot of team sessions. I break up the group into teams of about 5. I think 5 is an optimal number. And we're also going to get into like altruistic law of attraction. We did a lot of teamwork in our earlier retreat in August. And I think we're going to bump it up to another level. And this is a very popular retreat, January 16 through 19, around Martin Luther King's Day. And the total charge is $108, as always. We've always had this. And we get a lot of people, at least like 50 to 60. And we can fit at the most 60. So since it's getting very popular, I'm going to put a hard stop on it. If we have too many sign-ups, what to do? So please sign up if you're interested. The cost is $108. It includes gourmet lunch. A lot of it is vegan, gluten-free, etc., etc. It includes snacks. It includes the bomb chai, coffee, and it's really a community of like-minded seekers from different backgrounds. They come from all over the country, and it's pretty intense. It's roughly from 8 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon. It will include puja. It will include meditation, really, but it's meditation on the philosophy. And Jyoti has already mentioned the Bhakta Hanuman philosophy she's going to get into. It's going to include a lot of archetypical storytelling. It's going to include Advaita Vedanta practices. And as I said, the storytelling archetypical part will have a lot of team exercises. So the idea is, we have a better handle on how to respond and not to react. Okay, so the whole issue is like people get triggered in all kinds of relationships. And I got to tell you a story, right? So I'm a storyteller. So I was in Vermont last year, in Manchester, and I'm going there again next month. And it was very fancy hotel next to the yoga studio where I taught a teacher training. And I remember wandering into the hotel, and I don't quite fit in there because I'm wearing a t-shirt and my usual hippie garb. And there was a well-dressed man. The hotel is like high-end, few $100 a night, like a colonial style. And this well-dressed man in a suit yells out to me and tells me, Jose, carry my bags, please. And obviously he mistook me for a Jose, as like a valet. So I said yes, and I did, and he tipped me like $100. So I did not get triggered. I just kind of reacted in a humorous way. And that's one of the ways we can respond. It's called metacognition, right? In cognitive behavioral therapy CBT, where we can be the witness and say, isn't this interesting? And when you tell yourself that, you're stepping back, you're putting yourself in the drama and kind of having a little bit of a smile and saying, isn't this interesting? I'm getting like treated this way, and it's okay. But I do think it was a beautiful cultural misappropriation that I got mistaken, and it's all good. So there's many ways to deal with all kinds of relationships, but we're going to use it through the lens of Hindu Buddhist deities, because these ancient mythologies and memes are still relevant today. So if you're interested, please contact me. My email is mikechalam@yahoo.com, MikeChalam@yahoo.com. Shoot me a PayPal at this email for $108 and you're in. All you have to do is tell me yes. And we even have a fancy flyer for this retreat. So if you're interested, you can request me for a flyer. And it's going to be in a temple in San Diego from January 16, Thursday at 5 p.m. all the way until January 19, Sunday at 5 p.m. Jai Ganesh. Thank you so much.